drag an icon over to hard disk in order to have it copy. Supposing you make a mistake and do it twice.
Just consider using a computer, and you'll soon find you've got questions. Thousands of Apple computer users across the country are also finding answers. Answers from people, meeting together to get the most from their computers and themselves. People like you.
If you really want to find out about how to use the device you're interested in, whatever it is, get involved with other people that do the same kinds of things. That's natural. We're talking about Apple computers. And the people that come to our meetings that are involved in our meeting and in our group are very interested in how to use an Apple computer. They all follow their personal interests. They have whatever their goals are, they follow them. So they develop an expertise in each of those paths. Each of those people then can share. So there's one of those people someplace that you can select or talk to that can help you with your choices.
It's not a hobbyist type of an organization. It's a group where people come together and share ideas that help them be more productive in business. And I think that's the big difference. It is good information that is relatively inexpensive. It's practically free if you know the right people in the group. And it's just a good source of knowledge.
I purchased the Mac because it seemed to be the most friendly and easiest to get involved with. But I still didn't know what RAM meant and what ROM meant, and it was wonderful to go to a user group and be able to say, you know, I really feel silly because all of these ads talk about so much ROM and so much RAM. Can somebody tell me what that means? And somebody very patiently explained that RAM is random access memory and what that does. And from that, I've developed an incredible expertise.
More than 850 Apple user groups exist across the country, supporting users in home, education, government, and business use.
When I came to Herring-Newman, I already had the Macintosh and I brought it with me. The user group has really helped me in developing other sources of software, or other software that would be appropriate for the group, for the office here. Our time billing is a software product that I learned of through the Downtown Business Users Group.
Good evening, and welcome to the September Macintosh Downtown Business Users Group meeting.
People participating in Apple user groups represent a rich variety of backgrounds, specializations, and interests. For business people, an important user group function is making connections among people with related skills and finding the best professional resources for their computers.
In terms of PageMaker, I certainly am probably one of the more experienced people in the group, and people call me up all the time and ask me questions. But there are other aspects of it that I'm not as versed on. Like last week I had to do something in Illustrator and I was on the phone in 5 minutes. How do I get such and such to move? And so it's kind of a back and forth thing. Nobody's an expert on everything. Everybody has their little niche. So I have mine and so do other people, and I know who to turn to when I need it.
A majority of the people who come to our group come because they use the machine at work, not because it's a home toy or a fun thing. There are lots of small business users, there are government workers, there are people in the armed forces. What they come for is to make better use of the programs that they have, learn tricks. Like lots of people need to design forms. And if they talk to other people who've already done this, it can cut down the amount of time it takes to learn a program to do a specific task.
User groups also reach out to users in university environments.
Welcome to the Stanford Macintosh Users Group. I'm Barry Annan, and we're going to start with a half-an-hour question and answer session.
The university is very involved in computing, obviously very involved in Macintoshes, but we get a broad input and a lot of good ideas because of the diversity of people here at the university. The other thing is that we're very close to the Palo Alto community, and so we also share that.
University user groups serve the needs of a wide variety of different Apple owners, and draw on the special resources of their communities to do so.
This is the information line for the Arizona Apple User Group. As Apple Monthly meetings are always on the second Saturday, and our next meeting is September the 12th.
The most common Apple user groups are community groups. These groups have something to offer users with all kinds of interests.
Well, when I bought my computer, I tended to use it like my car. I turn the key on and just go. I don't know how it works, I just use it.
Okay.
But I had a lot of questions about why do I do this and how do I do that and so on. And anytime I had a question, there was somebody there who could answer it and give me all the information I wanted.
This is really an important part of what we're all about, what a user group is. The people that want to learn how to turn a computer on. How do you plug it in? What's a disk driver? Or all those questions. And well, I got it home, but I haven't hooked it up. It's in a closet, you know, and it could, you know. So those are the kind of people we really want to be able to get a benefit from our group.
Adults aren't the only people benefiting from user group activity. Most user groups welcome children's participation, and many offer special assistance with their computing needs.
How many of you are familiar with a program called 7 Cities of Gold? Hmm? So you have 3 ships. How many men do you want to put on each ship?
50.
The wide variety of people participating in user groups ensures that users of all levels and with all interests can find the answers they need.
You can learn from books, but you can't learn all the nuances that you can just by talking to people. And I think you often learn easier, faster, and appreciate it more when you learn from people. Certainly the books are going to help you as a point of reference. But sometimes you read through a book and they say, gee, it just doesn't, I don't understand what that's trying to say. And you talk to an individual, and if they say something you don't quite understand, you say, could you rephrase that? And it's right there. It just comes right back to you, and immediately you've got the situation. You can grasp it.
You know, a floppy disk is this round little piece of plastic inside a hard plastic casing. A hard disk is a round piece of plastic inside a bigger casing with a machine that spins it around.
First-time computer users can also come to user groups for answers. Many offer classes to help new members get up and running, like this class on AppleWorks for the Apple II. User group meetings and classes offer individualized support to Apple II and Macintosh users. But user groups offer much more than that. For Apple users, group events and activities are news. Through user group newsletters, members stay in touch with each other and with current developments of all kinds.
The newsletter is the primary method of communication within a user group outside of the meeting. The newsletter affords the opportunity for a bit more of a in-depth or meaningful, perhaps, conversation or transfer of information.
The BBS, or Bulletin Board System, allows members to telephone in through their computers to receive and leave messages.
And then once you call, using your computer and some terminal program, say, you find out information, transfer files, post messages, and generally exchange information. It's sort of like an electronic miniature version of the clubhouse.
Non-commercial public domain software, applications, accessories, templates, and games, is also available to user group members at little or no charge. User groups are a resource for members looking for creative new tools and a forum for developers looking for feedback on the software and other products they produce.
If you could specify a point here and a point there, that's where I want the text that I'm typing in right now to go.
We came here to get direct feedback from users of Macintosh CAD software about what they like and don't like about the software they're using now and what they wish could be incorporated into a CAD package for the Macintosh. And we're early enough now in our development of our package that we'll be able to incorporate their suggestions directly into what we're doing.
Many Apple dealers are themselves active user group members.
Well, I do it all the time as I work with corporate customers. I tell them that if they really want to learn more about the machine, make it productive, and meet people that do what they do, they should come to Debug, because there's such a large group of people here now, and there's so many special interest groups that they can get their questions answered and solve problems and save probably hours of time.
Apple actively supports its user groups through the User Group Connection, a program that communicates with user groups to bring the most up-to-date information about Apple products to people like you.
But I admit that I felt a little bit apprehensive when I first went, just wondering if it would be like going into an auto parts store and trying to ask for a spark plug and feeling embarrassed because you don't know exactly what you're asking for. And it turned out it wasn't like that at all, and people don't condescend.
I like the networking because while you may not have, you just certainly don't have all of the answers. I mean, through the various SIGs, you'll meet someone that you might be able to call up at 8 o'clock in the morning or 10 o'clock at night when you're actually working on a specific program.
It would be good to join a group because it will give you a lot of information about computers and how to program. Or if you are new to a computer, you can learn very quickly.
I've never had anybody go to a meeting that hasn't thanked me for inviting them to the users group meeting.
To find the user group nearest you, call Apple's toll-free number, 800-538-9696, extension 500.